I'm Kerry Mears. I'm 31, 32 soon. What was it like before? Crap, if I'm honest. Really, really crap. Had a lot of hang-ups from my past. I was living in my past. And then I also suffered postnatal depression, and I didn't bond with my daughter. I was 16 when I had my first hit of depression, and I did get suicidal. And then I got myself out of it, and then a few years later I got back into it. And then it was certainly, postnatal depression with my daughter, so that was a few years later. And I just didn't bond with her. I knew that I loved her, but it was just a concept. It's a story that you create, and you just become this person, this thing, and it's just that vicious cycle. And I'd probably say depression is that. It's that vicious cycle, that loop that you continuously go round and round and round. I didn't attempt to kill myself, but I certainly had suicidal thoughts that I would be much better off not here. But it's the dangerous thinking. It's that vicious loop of just thinking negative thoughts all the time. So I was in turmoil for quite a few years. And I actually handed over my daughter to my ex-partner, which was probably one of the biggest days of my life, to hand over my own daughter. I couldn't function, I couldn't think properly, and it was because I had all of my hang-ups. That's what it boiled down to. I was so angry, but knowing now, I was angry with myself. So that was probably about six years of my life with the whole me and my daughter not bonding. And then before that, I'd probably say 26 years, because of the things that I thought was really bad, and going in and out of depression. I just didn't love myself, didn't love the person that I was, didn't believe in myself. So yeah, lived in turmoil for quite a few years. It was about 2011. So when I handed my daughter over, I was very lucky, got back into corporate world, and very good money. 8 months down the line, they kicked us out. I had to move back in with mum and dad. The first year was really crap, lived in my own sorrow, my own guilt. And it was like, no. So after the first year, it was like, I needed to kick up the arse. Something that I thought, so again, it's a thought. It was like, no, I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I need to do something about it, and it's not going to happen on its own. So that's where I then looked into all of these different disciplines like hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, NLP, EFT, Reiki, which I then trained in. I trained in all of those aspects, and it did, change my life. Just by allowing myself to look deep within and let go of all of those things that I thought was so true. And then, so that was a couple of years in, had my own practice, and then I come into the understanding of the three principles. I've always been one to be really interested in the mind and our thoughts and our feelings, and that there's a bigger thing there going on. I've always had that inclination or that understanding. But it was only probably 18 months after that I trained in all of that, that then I went into the three principles. My sister-in-law is a coach as well, and she knows Dave, and so she introduced it to me through Dave, and then we went on a couple of little day events with Dave Kibbe, which was awesome, certainly life-changing, and it's just been a progressive kind of roller coaster ride, up and down, learning it, understanding it, but then also just being life. Life is life, incorporating it in my own way. The first year, which absolutely, looking back now, it's been 7 or 8 years. I started to create a story around it and actually lived in the three principles. Yeah, crazy, I know. But, after the first year, it really did settle in and to have the true understanding of where our thoughts really, really do come from. What did I say? My gosh, you know, it was a blessing really to have trained in all of those disciplines, then go into the three principles, because it just radicates all of it. You know, my understanding that I have now is with all of those disciplines, it teaches you strategies about the problem. Whereas, you know, the three principles understanding is going before the problem. You know, it's going way, way, way before all of that. The problem is never the problem. So I think from memory, again, this is going back quite a while ago now, but I remember being with Dave Kibbe, and Kerry was with me as well. And I had such a solid, firm grounding of what I want to do with my practice. And yes, this is it. And Dave just commented with one word, and it was like, oh my gosh, how dare you? That's just, and it's all from one thought. You know, I'd never ever looked at, you know, a different option before, and it was like, oh my god, you know, the blinkers are on, like the aha moments there, like wow. And it did. It just set me off, going, oh, it's just a thought. There's so many faults that can just change in any given moment. This was 7 or 8 years ago now. I can remember being in the room sitting down, and I couldn't even tell you what I wanted to do. It was still in the coaching format, you know, but I think it was a specific industry or, you know, the target market that I wanted to go for. I can't even remember what that is now. But I think my heart was so set on it. You know, I'd visioned it and seen it, and this is what I want to do, full out. And then just, well, what have you thought about that? No. And then it's just having that realization before you have the awareness of the realization. And then that's where all of these awesome other realizations come in, pop up. It's so powerful. It's so, so powerful. It's just being in the moment. If you really want to have a strategy or a technique, it's living in the present moment all the time. You're a human being at the end of the day, and you have feelings, you have emotions, you have faults, but it's just being in that present moment. When you're in that present moment, you feel those feelings. If I feel angry, I'm angry. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off. You know, when you're in that moment, you just go full pout with it, because you're not having any thoughts about your past, or you know, all the baggage that we like to carry as a human being, or I'm not thinking about what's going to happen in 5 minutes or 5 years' time. I'm just experiencing that experience in that moment. So it's very much, you know, it's like a child. A child will fall over, it's hurt itself, it cries like a proper little baby. 5 minutes, done, over with. So that's just another concept that we think to be so true, that, oh, I need to have confidence, or I need to have self-esteem, or I need this, or I need that to be the person. No, 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 that's just us anyway. It's just a label. We've attached feelings and emotions and thoughts around being confident and having self-esteem, or being a certain title. We don't need to get that, because we are already it, if there isn't it. I think this is the most profound thing, and it is about being who you really are. As a human person, we have these feelings. It's only until we put then attachments, labels to those feelings, that then it comes a thinking feeling. Whereas in that moment, it's just a feeling. That's all it is. It's just a feeling. And the relationships that I have with my daughter and my father and other people as well has completely changed. You know, I'm not that angry or bitter person anymore. You know, you don't hold on to any baggage, because there is no baggage to hold on to. The only person that was suffering was myself. My daughter's relationship is, again, there's not enough words or a word to describe how I feel. Love, ecstasy, bliss, joy. Absolutely awesome. My daughter's 11. And I have started to introduce bits and bobs, and it's awesome because she's so curious about it. Really? Oh, wow. The thing is, you know, my understanding is having this understanding, and after having that experience, is that when you truly look at yourself, the person, everything else will start to change around you. It's truly remarkable. Have this understanding, because everything around you will change. in the most positive, life-changing, awesome. Oh, there's just not words like to describe it. It's bloody awesome. I'm 7 or 8 years in now, having this understanding. And what I will say is it does change everything, but you really start to learn about who you really are. And by doing that, you're going to start to really see your own belief systems, your conditioning, your attachments to things. And because you're so aware of where thoughts are coming from, when you speak to friends or family, you just instantly know. You just know where their thinking is coming from, and whether they're hurt, they're upset. And again, it's that mirrored perception. So, where if like I do feel emotions, whether it's crap or good or happy, whatever it is. And typically, yes, when it's negative, I'll go, oh, well, that's affected me. Okay, right, so let's have a look at that. And it's so fun to look at it, and not having this understanding, going into the fear is the unknownness. And that's where people most fear, that's where they stop. My God, if you could go through that, on the other side of it, it's addictive. That's the only thing I can say. It's so addictive. Like, the first one's always the hardest, as we know, well, in anything in life. But my God, you keep on doing it, and it's like, oh, what's coming up next for me? What else can I remove and let go, and see more of who I really am as a person? And by doing that, it just opens up even more for everybody else to see. My relationships with everybody's changed. When I was first introduced to the three principles, it just completely changed. There was no, don't need to do hypnotherapy, or any NLP, or, even Reiki and stuff like that, because it comes before all of it. This is what I just said a minute ago, is that when you start to, have this understanding and realize that it's you are the only one that can change your thinking or have this understanding of where your thoughts are coming from. And it has been life-changing for my clients, and it just, I remember doing the other disciplines, and, it would take a few sessions to have a slight ha-ha moment or a light bulb. With this understanding, pretty much most sessions, it's done within a couple of minutes. Oh my God, or, it'd be quite subtle, or, crying, or it's awesome to see. I hear it day in, day out now. And I've got a lot of coaches that I coach as well. And just to see their face, and light bulb, and then another one. And all these awesome messages, and going, oh my God, even my clients are picking up on this. I seem to have fallen into coaching coaches, which is awesome. Wow, how awesome is that? I've got quite a good few clients that are being coached by other big coaches. So yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's just awe-inspiring. It truly is. I look at people the same way I look at myself. We're all as one. So, yeah. And I tell you what, before having this understanding, I was a serial list writer. A proper serial list writer. Lists for lists for lists, and planning this, planning that, doing this. My gosh, there's none of that anymore. None whatsoever. The thing is that when there is no future. And I know that, there is a concept there that people understand, but there really is true no. So when you're in that present moment, there's only ever now. And not to say that you can't plan for the future, of course you can, but you leave it there. Whereas before, that I can remember, is that I'd plan something and then I'd worry about it and go, is it going to work? Is it going to go to plan? I've got to get it all sorted, It's literally, you plan something, leave it, done, that's it, done and over with. You're just so in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, you just have full clarity. You have full clarity in any given moment. So, if crap was to arise, you've got such a clear head to be able to have the best action or reaction in any given moment. And then when you have no thinking of the past or the future, you're so clear to have that deeper knowing the knowing of the knowing, like, it's that pure awesome wisdom that's coming through. But because we're so closed off before having this experience, and that is where our mind is so filled with all of these thoughts and feelings and emotions and, past and future, we're just so clouded by our judgment and our thinking. It's gone forever. The biggest thing is, when you really, really, truly understand it, you have that awesome self-awareness. The awareness to be able to catch your own thinking, to then have a reaction or not a reaction. And it's so beautiful. And I know that's crazy to say, and it's like, beautiful, really? When you do have the understanding, you'll totally see what I'm saying. But just be willing to let go. I think the biggest probably lesson that I can give is to, go and speak to somebody or, do an event or something like that with somebody and a group of people, but then to go out in life. Go out in life and just experience life, because being really honest is that I see it quite a lot, is that, you'll keep on going in and in and in and in and trying to learn more about the understanding of the three principles. But the three principles, if I really want to word it up, is that it's life. You go out in life and experience life. Find me on Facebook, look me up for Kerry Mears. I do have a page, and then you can befriend me on my personal page as well. Website's just about being finished, but yeah, predominantly it is on Facebook. It seems to be where everything's happening right now. So yeah, Facebook. It's been an awesome ride.